Back in April, I was one of a dozen people who took part in an effort to build a home for an elderly African widow who is caring for her 4 orphaned grandchildren in Homa Bay, Kenya. This global village trip was Habitat for Humanity Capital Region's way of connecting with its international Tithe partner that also provides decent, affordable housing for families in need. And as we reached across oceans and continents, our journey not only changed the lives of these Kenyans forever, it also impacted us in ways we could have never imagined. This is the way our team was welcomed into a remote village in Homa Bay, Kenya. Nearly everyone from the Lowell community in the village we served came out to greet us, singing and dancing, leading us to a ceremony that showed they were happy because we were there to help them. For the next 5 days, we began building a new home for Consolata Odongo Otanya, a 69-year-old widow living with polio. Consolata had 10 children of her own, but they all died from the HIV pandemic, leaving behind 4 orphan grandchildren who are now in Consolata's care. The 5 of them living together in this small mud-walled house with no ventilation, a leaky roof, and dirt floors.
The rain would fall on her, sometimes the whole night. Next day she's sick, and it was very bad. And you can see the house had a very poor roof. The floor is very bad. If it rained, the floor also became muddy, and she can't walk. She scrolls on that mud. It was a very bad condition, very bad, and you've changed that.
And that was our goal, to build a solid foundation and permanent home for Consolata and her grandchildren, investing 1 week of what Habitat for Humanity calls sweat equity to help improve the lives of future generations. This global village trip not only made a lasting impact on this remote community, but on our lives as well, and you could see it in the faces of the 9 women and 3 men, ages 16 to 76 from the greater Lansing area, who traveled thousands of miles to volunteer to work with local Kenyans.
Chop, chop. Chop, chop.
And because of our example, surprisingly, Kenyan women stepped in to help.
The women in the village and the men in the village witness and see women also coming in and doing everything, whether it's mixing the concrete, carrying the hard rocks, everything. It changes the mindset, and that is what we want to see. We want to see the woman being given the chance and the opportunity to do what she can do.
Despite our differences, and there were many, we came together. Even our drivers pitched in to help us reach our goal.
These teams, I realize, is so focused, so determined, so I decided now I need to help them achieve their dreams.
And by the end of it all, we felt like we were a part of the village. They had accepted us with open hearts.
Because you have helped the village, so the village has improved because of you. Without you, the village will remain the way it was. So now, when we see the house is being built, we are very happy. And the villagers also are very happy also.
If everybody had an effort like yours, we would change the whole world.
Wow, that gave me goosebumps. I've been waiting to see that.
Very exciting to tell.
And, you know, you are over there working so hard and shooting all that video and doing the interviews to vote.
Thank you. I did shoot the video, but I did work a little bit too. So thank you. You know, well, building that house, we are really creating hope, not only for Consolata, but for the entire village. And tomorrow night at 6, I'll show you what it took actually to accomplish that goal, and how the children in this remote community were touched by our efforts as well. Well, last spring, a team of 9 women and 3 men from the greater Lansing area set off on a Habitat for Humanity global village trip. It was a journey halfway around the world that would take us to Homa Bay, Kenya. We worked in a remote African village with a Lowell community, building a home for an elderly widow who's raising her 4 orphaned grandchildren. Now, throughout the week, many of our team's conversations focused on the people we met and how our efforts help to improve the lives of generations to come. For an entire week, the 12 of us worked hours in the hot Kenyan sun. We started by digging up the rich soil, using primitive tools, and then moving boulders one by one, creating the foundation of a habitat home for Consolata. By midweek, we were mixing the mortar, shovel by shovel, and passing the red-fired bricks to be put into place, creating the walls for the 4-roomed home.
With a team like this, a house that should be done in like 8 weeks, we are able to speed up the construction of this home and ensure that Consolata can proudly and happily get into her home in probably 6 months, 6 weeks. And it will be amazing.
You are giving Consolata a second chance to live a better life.
Yes. Each day at the build site, we were greeted by the children living in this remote village. They came to learn about us.
Spain is yours.
It's very rare to have white people in a village in the middle of nowhere. And everybody has come to join in and appreciate what the Capital Region Habitat team has done and is doing.
And to watch us work. And if they found the courage to join in. It was something the adults took notice of.
The kids are very happy, and they love the time when the team has some time to take a break. And I've seen teams make songs with the kids. It's been amazing, and I'm sure this is going to be one experience that the kids will live not to forget.
And neither would we. The children didn't quite know what to think about this flying disc, but soon each one of them wanted to try throwing it. And then something magical happened when they saw bubbles for the very first time. The days spent working together during this remarkable week cemented the beginning of some lifelong friendships.
We are very much amazed how this team has easily blended in.
I'm very glad for the Habitat group, yes, and the villagers also.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yes, I'm very happy too. May God bless you.
When the last brick was laid and it was time to say goodbye, there was much to celebrate.
We came to build a house. We built friends and families that will keep in our hearts forever.
So Monica, thank you.
Now this is what Consolata's home looks like right now. I also wanted to mention that eaves troughs were installed on her house to capture the rainwater, which is then fed into a tank. So Consolata now has a fresh water supply for the first time in her entire life.